We're back. So, I didn't expect to make another episode of the Misfortune. Literally a couple of hours after I just did episode 26, which 25, which was huge. These last two episodes have been just absolutely huge. But there has been a problem. And so this episode will be 25.5 because there is something I have to do because I have a tendency to overthink my games. Now, this is where we left off. So, what I'm about to do might be controversial as far as people who love to tell stories and love to follow stories. And this one has definitely been an ongoing story. And I know I have a viewer or two on this channel, but that's not why I do these videos. These are more like documents. I want to document my stories, and I'd like to hear people give them the chance to view it and feedback, of course, and criticisms and comments and all that. But I'm not doing it for the views. I just like to record when I'm doing the solo RPGs because it feels like it has a reason, gives me reason to do these videos. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm learning as I make these videos that especially solo RPGing it's not about telling a story. It's about creating the world for my character to explore. I'm focusing way too much on the story and not enough on the interactivity that my character can have with the world around him. And so with that, especially the last episode, um, it started out like it was picking up, and then I feel like I'm being too hard on myself. It's obvious, and that's one thing that is not good to do when you do solo RPGs. It's because you are the audience and you're also the game master. I mean, you're the DM and the game master. You're the audience. You're the spectator. You're the player. You're all those things rolled up into one. You're rolled up into one. And if you're being hard on yourself because you're the only literal audience member, especially if you don't play recording, then it's like, what's the point? So I'm taking a step back from my last episode and I'm going to withdraw a few things because I feel like it's a huge burden for me that's not good. I don't do these videos to make it a burden for me where I consistently think about it after me like, oh man, I really messed that up. Because the last episode 20 or the last two episodes ago, 24 was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. That was by far my favorite video I've ever made on this channel. It was adventurous. It had some action. It had some story to it, not too much. I did some exploring. It was fun, and that's because of the new engine and all that. But on top of the story wasn't entirely the main focus. We were going towards a purpose, but it wasn't holding me back. This video, in episode 25, I was trying too hard to replicate what I did, but also forcing myself to finish the series so soon that I started going on this tangent about the story where you guys are looking at the big bold letters to where I should just do this. It's not needed. I don't need to develop the story outside of the character's perspective or control. There's no need for that. If I don't discover something, if I don't follow up on something, it doesn't matter. What matters is making my character survive and follow through with his own adventure. The mechanics of the engine, whatever system I'm using, it's entirely dependent on the character's actions. I want my character, Greglor, to explore, to do what I think he would do most logically with his character. And I haven't been in character that well. Again, I'm new to this. This is all playtest, but this is good. I feel like I'm critiquing myself not too harshly here. This is what I think would be best option. I'm removing all of that. It's all gone. That was totally unnecessary. And because we did that, I'm going to do this. So I don't think that stuff was necessary. We're going to still dragon and causing the destruction. Okay. So our character doesn't know that until he's just conveniently told about it, which I think that the exposition spewed by the two Kingsmen was unnecessary. They wouldn't do that. That doesn't make sense. They're more busy on trying to catch Dervish at this point. And that's the simplicity of it. I want to focus on the Kingsmen are here, and they're going to catch Dervish. I will stick with everything else. The magical the spirit of the stone dragon crashes and destroys the church, killing Gruith. And I thought for some Gruith was the mole, but no, I didn't go with that. That's fine. The Gruith being the mole probably would have been interesting because of the several instances where he's really strange. But the whole world is strange. It's been a cluster these last few episodes. There's several and parties colliding, several different aspects. The misfits, the Kingsmen, the Danger House crew. They're all in this trifecta, this love story with this love story with the conflict. So trying to juggle that is a little cumbersome. A little cumbersome. So that's why I had to come back after I took care of some personal things, and I was telling myself, yeah, I got to fix this. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Excuse me. We're still right here. We're on the very center right of the North Rock tile, right about there, and where we left off. So backtracking just a bit, the church is destroyed. Gruith is dead. We'll take that. We survive. The Kingsman 2 got hurt from the explosion. We don't know this. What I'm going to try to do is not roll for things outside of my character's visuals, his peripheral, outside of his little area. We don't know the Kingsman survived. I'm retconning that, taking that out. We don't know if they hit the wall and got hurt. What we do know is that they ran out of the church. They run outside. So again, this part right here is important. So I stand up, I look at the church, it's caught on fire with a white magical flame. I look at the volcano, it's heavily damaged, lava spewing out. Okay. I see Dervish and Belinda walking towards the Temple of Legion. Right. I run to the other side, the main entrance is cracked open. Okay. I enter the front of the camp, and I see the Kingsmen ask if they're okay. So this is the part right here where that's believable. I see the Kingsmen ask if they're okay. They're standing there cleaning themselves off. Okay, they survived. Great. We kept some characters in play who have seen some trouble, and they've been in this adventure for at least half of the entire time. This is fine. They see me, they are surprised that I survived. I'm surprised too. Probably shouldn't be, but I was. Now here is the part that doesn't matter. Okay, so here's the part that doesn't matter. The Kingsmen are there to clearly capture Dervish. He's a wanted criminal of the land. They work for the king. They have one sole purpose to be up there, and that is to follow the source of the Misfits activity, and that is the Temple Legion. So they think their recent tracking of Dervish, if they arrest him, blah blah blah. We don't have to dive too much into it. That's from what our character's thinking. Like, all right, the Kingsmen are here. Dervish is here. He's a criminal. He runs the Misfits. The King's Alliance, the King's Allegiance Alliance, are the counterpart just for justice against the Misfits. Okay, so we don't have to ask why they're up here. That doesn't make we know why they're there. So this whole part here is where I kind of got lost into the lore. Blah blah blah. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Erase all of this stuff up until the Watcher appears. I'm not surprised. No. We find them, they survive, great. We I am no longer part of the Misfits. That's evident. Dervish brushed us off, whether he told it to our face or not. He's broken. He failed the mission that he's been. He, that's how we see it. Again, I don't want to dive too much into it, but he's failed. The heart's been destroyed. The spiritual dragon has been dive bombed, kamikazed into the killing off Gruit in the church. That whole thing happened. The statue's been destroyed. So right now we're standing next to the Kingsmen. They see me. They are surprised I survived. Here's what I should do. I pull my weapon out while they're getting up and ready myself. Probably pretty blunt, but I will say this. I tell them the other part that was a little iffy was the whole getting rid of the entire the mutiny with the danger house. I did want to have conflict with them a little longer, but I think I was trying a little too hard to close off that thread. Let's see. Danger house. I'm going for the word mutiny. There it is. They know that the Dangers had a mutiny because of the busted statue. Okay, that's that's okay. Like I'm critiquing my own work, but I think that is somewhat acceptable. There's probably a few stragglers. Let's just say that the Kingsman said that Dangerous House had a mutiny outside because of some busted statue. They don't really know the lore, possibly, of the statue, but yeah, we'll keep it at that. Back down here. So, what I have to think about right now is what I should say to these guys. Let's see how they react to seeing me. Because everything we just been through is still on their mind to arrest a misfit they see right in front of them. I could say, now, you two, we can either work together to get Dervish, like the good old days. I can joke about something like that. But they're surprised to see I survived, but let's see how they truly react. Four, benefit. They see me being there as a benefit. Okay, they're surprised I survived. One of them says, "Oh, good, you're still alive. Here's what I could do." I ready my weapon, not at them. Let me guess. You're going after, because right here I'm basically trying to think of a way for myself to get back with officially a tryout with the Kingsmen, perhaps. This might be a good story. Sorry, I don't want to use that. This might be a good fit for Reglor to go from thief to the Royal Guard, essentially. I've ready my weapon. Here's what I can say. Taking this out. I'm not getting to the Watcher just yet. I tell them, let's forget about let's forget about what happened. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Let's put our differences aside. I think they might say, "Oh, great, you're still alive," just sarcastically. That makes more sense. They still despise us, but this this can work out for why I'm replying like this. Aside and help each other here, don't you think? Maybe I reach out my hand to help one of them stand up. I help. I reach out my hands, help one of them stand up. Do they let me help them up, perhaps? Let's see how they react. We'll roll to the table. 10. Burden. Okay, so that does kind of make sense. A burden. I think they tell me that I'm not. I'm obviously not King. I think it's allegiance. I keep thinking allegiance or alliance. Luckily, we have a list of NPCs. King's alliance. Yep, alliance. I think allegiance probably sounds better, but alliance it is. They tell me that I'm not obviously not uh, alliance material. So while they say that, I lift my hand back up. I'm like, okay. I pull my hand back, and this is where they spot. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's either me or them. Let's see. 50% chance it's me. So 50-50 that I see the Watcher approaching. 13. It's me, not them. Suddenly, I see the Watcher approaching. Okay. Sparky, still gone. I'm going to get to that in a second. How I speak out loud, I say, it's that guy again. And then I'm going to guess that they turn around, the Kingsmen react doing the following when they see the Watcher kind of walking all badass towards us and probably like a Gandalf his white outfit. 25. No, let's create empty. One more time. 78. Create an object. Okay, so the Kingsmen turn around, they turn to Watcher, and pull out their weapons. So create an object. They, I don't think they know. I don't think they know it's the Watcher from a distance. Right? They probably can't tell. Maybe they're still a little trying to get their senses back from the explosion. So Kingsmen don't don't yet recognize because I'm pretty sure they know him if I'm recalling correctly. They do know they have met him before. Just I Yeah, that's way back then. They don't yet recognize him. Senses disrupted. Visually impaired. So I'm gonna think that one of them says, "Who is that?" So, what does the Watcher do when he approaches us? Let's see. 87. Progress. Okay, that's good. So, Watcher approaches, says, "We've made progress." Now, where's Sparky? Do I see Sparky anywhere? I'm gonna say 50-50 on this one. 88. No Sparky. Just no. Yeah, no Sparky. Sparky's still gone. We'll have to find her later. We made progress. So I ask, I ask him, what do you mean by that? Do the two Kingsmen recognize him now? I think it's highly certain, nearly certain that they do. 18. Yep, that's a strong yes. Yeah. So both Kingsmen finally recognize the Watcher. They're like, "Hey, wasn't your name the Traveler?" And then he slaps him like the Three Stooges. So both Kingsmen recognize him. I ask him what they meant by that, what he means by that, and what does he mean by that? Let's see. Let's roll for it. I keep rolling. I keep rolling the same thing over and over. I'm trying to put some for 50. A fight. Oh, the goblins, right. So, okay, he is talking about the danger house. Like he sees that they're dead. Sees that they are dead. He mentions that they've been a problem up here for many weeks. Because remember, he traveled from the north. I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, he was up here already. So he went back, and now he's back again. So that makes sense. The danger house, yeah. So talking about the danger house, sees that they are all dead, and let's see how the Kingsmen react to this. Let's see, 68. Move. Okay, so the Kingsmen both say they don't have time for this right now. They move. They start walking. They walk towards to the temple. I watch them. I'm not going to follow just yet. Does the Watcher follow? Let's see. One, two. 48 again. Fears. Okay, so the Watcher is worried that they won't survive this task. I ask him, "Why do you say that?" Again, I'm just a I'm just playing 20 questions with this guy. And what does he say? Let's figure this out. The context. One, two. So I'm realizing rolling each dice separately is better than rolling both because I've been rolling two similar numbers if I do both. So 29 is going to be decent. Okay. Feeble or deceit feeble. 42. Environment. Deceit feeble. He thinks they're hiding their pain. So like a cat does. So he suspects that they are in far greater pain than what what it appears, or what it appears. So let's say he mentions that Kingsmen are highly trained to suppress pain. They're so highly trained to suppress pain, finish finishing the job no matter what. Okay, so earlier I asked them another question. Let's see. Watcher approaches. So you have made progress. Both Kingsmen finally recognize the Watcher. Kingsman back say, now does the Watcher ask me what I'm doing here? Or what I'm gonna do? I was gonna ask the Watcher that, but I think I'm asking too many questions. Let's see. Does the let's see that what does the Watcher ask me a question? I'm gonna say likely. Yep. No, wait. No, let me re-roll that. I rolled it wrong. Okay. There we go. 20. Yep. So the Watcher asks me the following question. Oh, I already rolled, right. What I'm doing here. Or we can see what he asked me. 98. Surprise. Okay. He's uh the Watcher. Let's see. He says the Watcher is surprised that I'm still alive. I think that's better. And asks is wondering why I'm still here, like in this area, why I'm still here. I tell him that I had a debt to pay for the Misfits, but that but nobody it I'm trying to figure out it didn't end up as It didn't end. It didn't go too well. It didn't go too well. The Watcher. Let's see what he says. I have no idea what he can say, but I'm curious what the role will show me. So, okay, 78. An object. Interesting. Okay. So does it give us an object? It is rustic. A key. Oh, right. The key. A rustic object. The key was rustic. Was rust. It was old. That's right. That makes sense now. Okay. So the Watcher suddenly pulls out the key from earlier and gives it to us. Okay. So we have the key now. All right. Luckily, I have room for that inventory item. Key. Don't know why it's underlined. Oh yeah, we have a short. I have a short sword too. So the map. Oh, the box is gone. That's right. The box is done with. The rope still have that, I think. Let's see if we still have the rope because we used it. But do I still have the rope? 50-50. We never really touched on that. 6. I do. Okay, I really do. I do indeed still have it. All right. So he gives it. He gives it to us. I ask him. I say the key. Why? So why did you give us the key? Let's see. 77. He gave us a key because it's an object. We know that. 42. Well, it's quiet. Okay, I rolled quiet. 42 is going to be the environment helpful. Okay, it's helpful. The environment. Interesting. Okay, so he gives us the key, and it's helpful for the environment. Hmm. No, I don't know about that. He gives us the key. 18. It's dangerous. So if I rolled, I'm trying to see why he gave us the key. He pulls out the key from earlier and gives it to us. I say the key. Why? I think the Watcher is he sees something in us that we can complete this mission. But everything that happened from before probably was not entirely that. It was not the end all be all. It wasn't the end game. There's something more to this that the Watcher seems to have knowledge about. So I want to say that the Watcher tells us to hold on to it once more, or tells me to hold on to it. I will need it soon. So he tells us this very vague, mysterious, this very tells us something very vague, and we still have the golden map. I tell him, you seem to know a lot about all that's is happening up here. While I turn my head, while I'm talking to him, I look at the watchman, yeah, right, the Kingsman walking up the mountain. And when I look back, what is he doing? 46. Incomplete. I think the Watcher is truly an observer. He helps, but he does not take part. I think we talked about this way before. He's like a guide. when there's a big problem in the land, when a big issue arises, he will do his best to assist the king, the townsman, anyone, the side of justice, pretty much. So, all right. So once again, I was getting a little too much in the story. I didn't really think about this. I was thinking about it too much. He gives us the key. He has the key from earlier, but do we take it? Do I want to take it? So here's one thing that Breglor has been through so much that the debt to pay is done. Dervish brushed us off and considered everything a failure. The Watcher pulls us the key out, so it's now the Watcher giving us a quest. While we're tired out of our minds. I'm tired. The character's tired through everything. That maybe we should just let this all go. And I think Bregler just wants to go home at this point. He's no longer chained up, metaphorically chained up for a debt to pay. Or we survived. I survived, but I think the Watcher suddenly pulls out the key from earlier. So we got to figure out why. And I don't want to sit here and play 20 questions with the guy. I think so. Here's what I'm going to do. I ask him one more question. Is that the key? Is that the key from the Merchants Guild? Is it the key from the Merchants Guild? Let's see. Nearly certain it is. Or let's actually roll to see how he responds. 68. Move. Official. It is. So this is actually the key. Yeah, he nods his head. He nods his head. That's all he does. I tell him, I'm guessing you want me to take it to the temple. So there's a question. I'm guessing you want me to take this to the temple. And what does he do? Let's see. No, because that was my last question. I'm not going to say that. See, this is a really tough part. I'm trying to correct my major mistake from the last episode. I'm trying to make this seem a fitting closure if I do end the series here. He's gonna give me an option. Let's roll for it. 10. It's a burden. Okay. 89. It's a setback though. So it's a setback. It's a burden. All right. Setback, burden. It's a setback that the Kingsmen don't have the key, and it'll be a burden once they get up there and they need a key to get in. So he tells me this. He says the following: the Kingsmen will need this key to enter the temple. Okay, simple enough. Do I take the key, or do I let the Watcher walk up there himself? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say as a thief. I say, what is in it for me? What is in it for me? I've been through hell and back. What more can I do? Or is it worth it? And what does he say? Let's see. I'm trying to be a dick in this one to give a chance for continuations. 72. Peaceful nature. Okay. 87. Progress rustic. The key. Peaceful nature. He explains that if okay, he simply explains that it will bring peace to the lands to the land. He's very vague about it, like he's been vague before. I tell him, okay, all I'm going to do, I'll take I'll take the key to them, and that's it. I'm done. All right. So I grab the key. Does he let me take it? I'd say very likely he lets me take the key. Two. Yep. I take the key and run towards the Kingsmen. I'm guessing they're probably a quarter of the way up the trail, while most likely Dervish and by now Dervish and Belinda are like they found they have a secret access point, a passage that they know about. While the entrance to the temple is a huge, gigantic arch with like a big door or something, a big wooden door. All right, am I able to reach the Kingsman in time? Or let's say, probably it's been what, like 5 minutes perhaps? They're not too far. Okay, let's say I reach the Kingsman. I reach the Kingsman, and what? How do they react to me? 63 information. Okay, so they turn around. I tell them I give them the key. Tell them what the Watcher said, and he said from earlier, the castle. Do they take the key from me? Do they trust me on this part? I'm going to say likely. 35, they do. Okay, so they take the key and look at each other. I tell them, uh, courtesy of the watch of the merchants guild. Let's see, guilds. Yep, make sure I have the correct name. So, compliments of the merchants guild or courtesy of the merchants guild. So, I'm guessing they smile and continue on up up the trail. So the smile was good. That might be a note for me. That might be some leverage for me to run. Because remember, I'm still a criminal. I was arrested, but they're giving me a chance to, whether they said it or not, give me a chance to leave this hellhole. So they keep up the trail, and now I'm watching them walk up the trail. I'm watching them walk up the trail to the large entrance. I turn back. I look back at the Watcher. Is he still there? Let's see. 50-50. Is he still there? 34. He is. He's just standing there with his staff, just watching. Like again, picture Gandalf in his bright form. He's just standing there watching. So as he observes, and I'm at this point where I'm trying to figure out, should I continue on? Should I leave or help them? My character take a deep breath, and this might be an interesting point for the fans too of the show, all two of you. I'm trying to decide if I should continue this or not, like the series, like this. this campaign. I could always come back to it, but definitely want to take a break from it. I've done a lot of this episode 25 episodes so far. So I take a deep breath, and then I'm curious, 50-50 on this one. I won't tell you guys just yet. 21, conflict, internal conflict. And suddenly I hear a voice similar to the skull, perhaps. I hear a voice similar to the skull that we've heard a long time ago speaking to me. Do I reckon? Or can I understand what the voice is saying? So let's do a. I'm a four, so we have to roll over a four, four or higher. With I'm not prepared. It's not an expert. I have to roll 1d6. It has to be a four or higher. All right, let's roll for it. I rolled a four, though it is with a setback. Okay, so I understand. Well, it's a partial. You barely manage it. I understand some of the words spoken by the voice. And let's see what I'm hearing. 96. Strange. Strange. Let's see. 66. Leave. Let's do one more. 64. Information. I think I'm going to stick with this one. The voice is telling me to leave, but in a very strange way. Like it's a mixture of a different language, but I'm hearing you must leave this place, and it sounds like multiple voices. So it sounds like multiple voices now, barely can tell, telling me to leave this place, this holy place. I look at the, yeah, I look at the Kingsman again, and 50-50 on this one. I won't tell you guys yet, but I'm really curious if they hear the voice too. 50-50. 74, they don't. They're just walking up. They don't. I was curious if this voice was like some kind of some kind of defense spell that anyone who is not familiar with the area walking up to the entrance gets scared away by this voice, but it's not. That's not the case. We still have that weird connection to the. We still have this weird connection to the temple through the skull. That's well, not the skull. The box that's now destroyed. Um, so I look at Kingsman. They don't hear the voice. So while I look up, do I see anything out of the ordinary? Let's see. 34. Finally, a number I don't really roll. A delay. Frightening. There's a frightening delay. There's a frightening delay. What is it exactly? 98. It's a surprise. Okay, so something pops up. Surprise, frightening, delay. Okay, so what is it? Oh, wait, I think I know who it is. Is it Belinda and Dervish? Let's say likely. I'm curious if it's them. Three. Holy crap, it is them. Okay. Suddenly, uh, Dervish and Belinda appear in front of the entrance, like a spell, like they just magically appear. like some kind of like Star Trek teleporter appearance. They no, they portal in. Uh, portal through the door facing the Kingsman, and I'm just standing there watching. That's where we're gonna end this episode. So they have shown themselves, strangely enough, but do they look any different? 50-50. 83. Nope, they still look the same. Okay. So right now, I'm an observer. I'm not taking part in this action. I'm witnessing something happening in the distance. I saw Dervish and Belinda portal through the door of the temple facing the Kingsman. So they eventually got in there, but they had a sense that the Kingsmen were approaching, so they are. Maybe they have a backup plan in mind. They failed, but maybe they had this whole time, they had a backup option. Who knows? Again, we'll get to the next episode, but I am going to continue this episode. However, I'm going to take a break from it. So I don't want to drive myself too crazy because doing 3 episodes and within a day and a half is just too much. But I'm just really eager to continue it because I felt like I need to fix a few things. So yeah, this is episode 25.5, not 6, of the Misfortune. I do apologize for all the corrections and changes, but I'm going to take away all this and just we'll leave it open for the next episode, episode 26. So this was right around. Let's see. I want to say we started around here. Won't survive. What was that? I'm going to say right here. Episode 25.5 corrections. Let's call it that. So, yep. I don't think we have anything to adjust on the quests. The Quake is done, so we will erase that. Family Caliph is done. Erase that. The Bad Luck Merchants, I think we will erase that too. So we have the key now. So the main quest is this one. We have the key. Kingsmen are at the temple entrance facing Dervish. Oops, Dervish Belinda. Watcher watches. So there you go. That's where we leave off for episode 25.5. And yeah, till next time. So my next video might just be a one shot, a simple one, like a dungeon crawler. I'm gonna take a break from these heavy story. Again, I don't want this to be a story, but these heavy lore based campaign for now. But yeah, I think I'm happier with this one. Somewhat happier. There's a few things, but I don't want to like completely revamp everything. I've already done too much. So I'm gonna stop there. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time on 830 RPG.